Can we talk about, look at this regrowth. Oh my goodness. That's funny. People who have given birth. Can I get an amen? What's up guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about Jones Road again. I checked back in because she being Miss Bobbi Brown, it released a foundation. It's called it's called WTF, What the Foundation. And I checked back in to see if other things had been released since my last journey through Jones Road. My stroll down Jones Road, and she had, and so I picked up a few things here. I have the What the Foundation. I have a stick blush, which thank God, because that Miracle Balm, look, all brands have stands. This one has some pretty enthusiastic ones. I broke the seal, I tried it, I decluttered it. It's just not my vibe. And we're gonna move on. I also picked up the Bronze Just a Sec eyeshadow. I got another eyeshadow, which she calls the best eyeshadow. I've had one of these before, but it was like the only color that they made at the time. I think it was gray. This is in Penny, coppery bronze color. Oh, I got this little pencil. This is the face pencil, and I got it in shade 1, and it's their concealer, basically. I will admit, this had piqued my curiosity long before that foundation came out, but that was what made me pull the trigger. So, we're gonna move in, and you're gonna move in. No, I'm sorry. Ingrid's in the closet and Amanda's in the Tiki bar. We actually have no room at the inn, but I'm gonna move y'all in, and we're going to put all this on my face and probably finesse some other things, because this is not necessarily a full face in my book. And we will chat through whether my feelings have changed, because the bar was low the first time. So let's go ahead and jump in. Look, I'll admit, I wasn't even ready for this level of fashion today, but I put this shirt on. It's from Rent the Runway, from a brand called Mons that I absolutely cannot afford. And it was supposed to be like a cold shoulder shirt, which I had objections to, but turns out you have the option because it's buttons, and it kind of makes me look like a tiki pirate, which is a vibe I've never chased down before, but now that it found me, I'm agreeable to it. Okay, I have more serums on my face than should be physically possible. I don't know what happened this morning. I was just like, one of them has to work. And then I put on my sunscreen, and I've been sitting out in the sun for like the last hour and a half, just trying to find the justification to come inside because it's so gorgeous. Maybe I'll open this window so you can hear the birds. Nature! Wow. I'd love to say I'm in a really weird mood today, but this is pretty normal. All right, so that means that we can just start right in on this. Now, this comes in this many shades. And one person pointed out in my comments, she said, or in DMs actually, she was like, I thought that we were past the whole starting with non-food, and then as the shades get darker, calling them more and more food items, and that's what the shade range does. They're not in numbers, but this is the lightest shade, and I am here to tell you that is not light enough for everybody, like for the lightest folks, and it's a little bit disconcerting at first. Like, you see that swatch and you're like, that's gonna be a shellacking. Jones Road is the brand that Bobbi Brown founded, basically, you know, when she left Bobbi Brown. And it's supposed to be clean beauty, and this is I'm pretty sure this is totally silicone free. It's very, very like natural. Waxes and oils, it's got sodium hyaluronate in it and stuff, but it really is supposed to be no makeup at its best. And that's what all this stuff is. And I think it's important to kind of adjust your expectations accordingly before you even like dip a toe in the idea of Jones Road, because these formulas will underwhelm you if you're expecting regular prestige beauty. The pigment payoff is just not really there. And there's kind of something cool about it when you get your head around that, you know, and you sort of apply it the way that it's intended to be applied. I still can't get behind Miracle Balm, but this definitely won me over. Like, I saw that swatch and I was like, oh no, like what's gonna happen here? And let me show you. At least for me. And this was a case where I got messaged by like a handful of my fellow creators, and they were like, what color did you get? Because we're all kind of at sea on this one. We're like, these are the weirdest looking undertones I've ever seen, which is an exaggeration. Plenty of brands have very strange choices as it pertains to undertones, especially right when they introduce a complexion line, but we're talking about Bobbi Brown. It's not like she's inexperienced, you know? So she does really put a lot of emphasis, especially on her like Instagram where she's talking about these products on, you know, this being effortless and not really looking like makeup. And it is so, it is so pretty. It actually does this really funny thing where it tries to kind of emulsify my little hairs on my face. Like it picks them up in almost like a little glycerin-y way, and I just have to smooth them back down. I would say that the only pejorative that I would assign to it is it might be a little greasy, but in a, I don't know, like a moisture cocoon kind of way. I know that we talk about foundations being like skincare all the time. This is taking it to a whole nother level. This is like Candelilla wax level skincare, and it has that smell to it, that like natural waxes kind of smell to it. And the way that it looks on the skin is amazing. Does it completely dry down? Not really, but it stays looking like skin, and you can apply really as little as you want. You know, it's not Chantecaille. Chantecaille, even though they do have really great ingredients, they do also have silicones and stuff in them, and so that makes it behave more like what you would expect. Getting, you know, prestige beauty at like the department store or something. This is different. It's different. It's not as simple as like the Kosas original tinted oil, but it's different. And I think that it's different in a way that a lot of people would really, really like. I just hope that I can get across like what this consistency is like on camera, because it's not at all gel-like. It is the opposite of gel, but it breaks down with body heat. It's just got this very, very specific experience to it that is really, it's waxy in a super interesting way, and it feels kind of occlusive. I don't know that I'd recommend this for oily skin, but it's like very nourishing. It feels really healthy, and when I wear it all day, I feel like things on my face are happier. It's like when you go to bed with, you know, a slugging situation on. That's almost what this is like. It's just like wearing a slugging situation during the day that doesn't feel like Vaseline on your face. But it's not that far off. It's kind of halfway between like Chantecaille and Aquaphor. But I like it. Like, I love the way that it feels. I don't know. It feels really healthy. It doesn't feel like makeup. It's funky stuff. I would not say that it has like a super lockdown unless you put almost no skincare under it. It's really going to depend on how much skincare you have under it, because I have put it on when my skin was kind of dry, and it will bring it back to life. For me at least, because it just has really, really kind of nourishing, like the sodium hyaluronate, but also really nourishing oils and stuff in it. And it also seems to be a little bit occlusive, so it like locks that moisture in. It's fascinating. It's $44. This thing is 0.8 ounces and it's glass. So that's pretty cool. All right, next we have the face pencil, and this is basically the concealer, but I find it to be more of a like brightening camouflage thing. So I'm not sure how I'm going to sharpen this when the time comes, because I don't have anything that's that size. I know I can buy one, but I don't have one currently. But let me get really nice and close so you can see. This is in the shade 1, and it's just a really good shade for me. I love this because it really is undetectable on the skin, and it cooperates really well with the texture of the foundation. And I just don't feel like I need a whole lot, you know? I'm not interested, especially when you're approaching it from the standpoint of Jones Road Beauty's aesthetic. I'm not interested in, you know, covering up my freckles or changing the shape of my face or anything like that. We're not talking about contour and full beat or anything. We're talking about like healthy skin. See, like we're not gonna get like full coverage on a pimple. I didn't pick that, by the way. That is just the way that that thing is currently existing in my life. So yeah, I can just kind of take the side of it. There's not a lot of drag to it, but it is pretty like, I don't know, it's easy to control. It feels almost like it's stiff, but it does also still warm to your skin. A little goes a long way, which is great because, you know, you feel like this is a very self-contained little thing that's gonna last a long time. And honestly, this is a complexion look that I've been reaching for quite a bit on my own time. And it's because it's so easy and it's so comfortable and it's so quick, you know? There's just something about it that does everything that I need it to and nothing more. And I know that that's kind of always the no makeup vibe, but this is just a little bit different. It feels like it never really, since it doesn't dry down completely, it's not really makeup. Does that make sense? All right, so I have Tawny Nude Lip and Cheek Stick here. And this, again, it's just a situation where like, I don't even really want to reach for a tool. It really feels like something that wants to be blended with fingers. It wants to be warmed. And when I first swatched this, again, underwhelmed. I was like, okay, well, it looks a little bit patchy, maybe a little bit dry. No, it's very, very like pretty and sheer, and it blends really beautifully into the other products with minimal drag. And I like that like I can swipe my finger across it and it still leaves pigment behind. It's not something where I have to be really, really careful. But it's also nowhere near the Miracle Balm in terms of that like dewy, everything stick to it kind of feeling. So I really genuinely enjoy this color. It's super, super dialed in. And this is just like summery makeup, you know? This is what I was talking about the other night, where it's like, you just duck into the guest bathroom and like throw your face on. Like that's what this is. That's what this feels like. It's just this very, very low stakes face of makeup that it looks very pretty when you get it on, and the formulas they're meant to be easy. They're meant to look effortless. And you guys know, it wasn't a matter of me not getting my head around it the first time. Like I understood the aesthetic. I just didn't think that it was there yet with the first release. I just found it to be very underwhelming and kind of overpriced for what it was. But so far, like these products have really, really been different. I feel like they're just pinning down that original brand identity a lot better than the first stuff that I tried. Okay, next we have these two eyeshadows, and they are the Just a Sec eyeshadow in bronze and the Best eyeshadow in Penny, and I will go ahead and swatch those for you. So there we have bronze and Penny. Penny is this one right here that's the powder, and then bronze is going to be this kind of like, it's a cream and it's sort of sheer but also kind of sparkly. And I have applied these with my fingers. I think maybe that's what I'll do today. So what I'll do is apply a sheer wash of the cream, and then I will top it off with the powder. Because yeah, this looks like it's gonna be really high impact when it's in the little tub, but it's actually pretty like sheer. You don't even get that much sparkle from it. You know what I mean? I would say that these are the more underwhelming, and that's probably just an expectation versus reality thing, because I do like a good, exciting texture on my eyes, and these are a little bit less exciting. I remember trying the powder version of this eyeshadow in a different color and just being so underwhelmed, mainly because it was gray. And I just think that like the gray didn't really do it for me. There are a lot more colors now. So I'm gonna take Penny and just dab that on my outer corner here. Get a little bit of dimension. What's wild about this is like anything that you don't like, if you did something you don't like, you can just wipe it off. It has kind of an interesting in-between texture because it's still movable, but it's not uncomfortable. It does remind me a tiny, tiny bit of the RMS foundation that comes in the tub, but it's not as heavy. That one's heavy. I don't know, man. I couldn't get behind it. It just really, really like never soaked in. It was heavy and it sat on top of my skin. And this at least sinks in and feels nourishing. That one kind of just felt heavy and greasy. So I have reached the extent of my energy for applying this with my fingers. I'm still not a fingers gal, but you know, I'm gonna grab a brush here and just blend because I'm not going to be able to accomplish that with my fingers. I mean, I probably could, but I don't have the patience. Like that was too much. I just wipe it off because there's just like very, very low stakes on this complexion. Kind of weird, honestly. It's like not what I'm used to at all. Kind of just like smudgy and messy, and that's gonna be the vibe with this. Precision is not the name of the game. Let's see if we can get it to tolerate a little bit of powder. I'm gonna just use some of this Kosas Cloud Set. Build a little tiny bit of coverage and mattification here, just to see if we can. See what we can get away with. Whoa. There's a shift on that blush, guys. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but it shifts a little tiny bit like of a hot pink. Huh. Yeah, like, am I loving the way that this looks on camera? No. Maybe we go a little smokier on the eyes. Let's see. Let's see if I can just boop, 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 boop. I'm just so lightly tapping my finger into the pan. It really does pick up pretty well. Picks up really nicely on a brush too. So I'm gonna throw on like brows and mascara and stuff, and then we will maybe finesse this a little bit. Like, now that you've seen the performance of just these products, I might like see how it combines with things that would make this a face of makeup that would be a little more me, and we can have that adventure together. Kind of looks messy. It's really, really hard to get just one color, which, yes, those are technically two colors, but still kind of comes out to one color of eyeshadow to spread in a really nice even way on this emollient of a surface. Although I'm not mad at this look. I do feel like it just looks like it needs to be pulled together a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of just some of these like pale in between brown kind of colors from the Hindash palette and pull some more life into my eyes. There's just something very flat about this color story on me. It just needs a little bit of depth, and I think it just really needs some warmth. And I'm pulling this like ochre color, and I'm just putting that right there, opening my eye, looking straight into the mirror, and just isolating my crease a little bit, adding a little bit of a differentiation of texture, taking a little bit of the palest shade in there. And it's like not even so much about color or blending as it is the way the light hits certain parts of my face. And I feel like it's distracting sometimes when you have like light reflecting off of like certain parts of your eyes. And I just want to make a couple little changes here. So yeah, I'm working with very, very little of that matte shade from the Hindash palette. They're all matte in the Hindash palette. And then I'm also going to take that underneath my eye right here. I do feel like eyeliner and mascara really set it off. Like, you just kind of need to pull the details back out, like I always say, but it didn't go far enough. Like, the surface, the actual finish on the makeup doesn't look dull, but the colors are dull. I want to see what happens if we apply more of this with a brush in just a little bit more of a concentrated way. So I'm gonna grab some of this on a BK Travel 101 here and try to build it. Maybe put some of that in the eye look too. It's just a lovely color. It looks really, really healthy. Very, very natural. You can see my freckles through it. It looks like skin. And it is technically a lip and cheek. It's quite sheer, so I don't really feel like it super overwhelms a look to put it on my lip, but my eyes do disappear, just like they always do when I do that. I'm adding a little bit of that to my eyeshadow look to try and pull this together. I don't know if that worked. What kind of bird are you? Hey, I'm gonna crowdsource this. There's a bird that goes beep, 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 boo, beep, 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 boo. I would like to know what bird that is in New Jersey. Thanks. All my ornithologists out there. I feel like we have life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness going on in this whole look, right? We need, I don't know, maybe a little tiny bit of bronzer, just a little. I will grab Patrick Ta because that's the most reliable one that I have. So you can see I am kind of struggling to solve this one. Just because I feel very limited by those textures on the eyes. Everything else is very pretty though. Like I have the strongest urge to just cover everything on my eyes in glitter because there's just nothing happening. And I understand that there are plenty of people who that's for. But like for me, I'm like, it doesn't feel finished. So I'm gonna go nuclear here with, there we go. This is Ray in the Scattered Light from Hourglass. I don't know. Y'all, I don't know. Sure. I mean, I still feel like I need like more pigment on my cheeks, you know? If I did, what color would I be? I think I would be that color. So this is Heather Pop from Clinique, and I'm just tapping that right there. More than anything, it's just, again, to change the way that the light hits my face. It's almost like the same color as the cream blush that I put on, but it's just intended to flatten it out right there so my cheeks aren't reflecting light, you know? That's better. All right, and then we'll just put something very nice and smooth on my lips here, and then we will get to talking about these products real quick. All right, I'm gonna move y'all out. We're gonna talk prices, claims, and then my final thoughts. So, What the Foundation comes in 12 shades. Again, I have Porcelain, which is the lightest. Then they have Fair, Light, Beige, Medium, Medium Honey, Honey, Pecan, Cinnamon, Chestnut, Deep, Deep, and Espresso. I don't know. I don't know that I have a moral objection about the food names, but I do think it's weird that it's only the deep ones. What the Foundation is a tinted moisture balm meets traditional foundation, blends seamlessly into the skin, leaving you with an even, fresh complexion that looks like your skin on its best day. WTF includes skin nourishing ingredients like jojoba oil and sodium hyaluronate, works flawlessly with the face pencil, and offers buildable light medium coverage. Choose from one of 12 shades, created to blend across all skin tones. WTF is a first of its kind innovation in the clean beauty space. I don't think that, like I said, the shade range would necessarily span everybody. I think that there are gaps in the undertones, but I also think that just the extremes they're not quite extreme enough. Like, I understand going into something with a low coverage being flexible, but this is not that low coverage that you can just kind of, you know, smooth out the differences between the undertones, especially when you're talking about dark skin. Like, the undertones are not subtle. You can't just throw honey on top of olive, like, it doesn't work. So that one is $44. That Miracle Balm is $38, and you get a whole vat of it. So I hope you like it if you have it, because you have a lot of it. The face pencil, this is $25. Hilariously comes in an absolutely insane amount of shades. There are 25 shades in the pencil and 12 in the foundation. I don't know, guys, you can break that one down for me. I mean, I guess because it's higher coverage, you'd want a more dialed in match. But I still think there should be more shades in the foundation. It says a makeup artist's dream, but simple enough for a newbie to master. Cover redness and dark spots, correct discoloration in light and dark circles while remaining virtually undetectable. Formulated with a clear base for no chalky undertones. That's pretty cool. I do think they're kind of implying that you might have more than one in your collection just to do different things, color correct, what have you. So it's not necessarily just a concealer. So That's interesting. And also I do like what she says. It's like, okay, makeup artist's dream, but simple enough for a newbie to master. But I do agree. It is actually a very, very, like, that's the main thing that I get from this complexion combo, is just how easy it is. It is so low learning curve. So for those of you who are new here, I will kind of mention the ones that I have or have not tried yet, in my opinion on them. I haven't tried the shimmer face oil. It's $34. I have this lip and cheek stick. It's also $34. It comes in 8 shades. They are all super, super pretty. I am not a fan of this swatch because it looks like it's a liquid product, and it's not. It's not that smooth, and it's not that creamy, and it's not that intense. It's just a very strange thing that they've done, where they're literally swatching it when it's like melted down into a liquid. It looks more like a lip gloss, which is not at all. The best pencil. I am not an eye pencil girl to begin with, but that one I found to be pretty dry. The best eyeshadow, $25. So this comes in 15 different shades. Product description says minimalist but mighty. This blendable shadow offers professional grade velvety pigment. Customize it with your tools. A fluffy brush yields a sheer application, while a tighter brush will maximize density, layer, and blend to add dimension. There is a sparkle wash, which looks really cool. I kind of wish that I had tried that. That is neat. That is neat. Maybe we'll try that next. That's for the eyes, I think, and it is $24, comes in 7 shades. So I don't feel so bad about wanting glitter on this now, because she makes something that is for that. I do not have her brow pencil, the Just a Sec Bright Eyes eyeshadow. 6 shades. The innovative formula you never knew you needed, with a weightless, cushiony texture. This clean eyeshadow imparts crease-proof wash of luminous color across the lids, at the inner corner of the eyes, and along the brow bone. Just a Sec is all it takes to look bright-eyed. Available in 6 mistake-proof shades. I mean, I guess I could have gone with something that was closer to my skin tone, but I didn't find this to be particularly effortless. The Cool Gloss. I called it a total pass. It's very like minty in not a good way, in like a drying way. I found it to be actually really not very good for my lips at all. The mascara is something that is worth mentioning. I did declutter it because I don't wear it, but it is the prettiest and the longest wearing clean mascara I have ever used. It makes your eyelashes go wha-pow. Wha-pow. Like, it is one of the most extraordinarily voluminous, gorgeous, matte black, unbelievable, impossible to remove. And it's not a waterproof claim. Getting that off of my eyes, it was so much work, and I think I had mascara still between my eyelashes for days. You know, it was just not the vibe. When you're used to using a tubing mascara, that just isn't it. So her story, she says, Jones Road was founded by makeup artist Bobbi Brown on the philosophy that the world doesn't need more beauty products, it needs better beauty products, clean, strategic, high-grade formulas that work on every skin type and tone, and that are as simple to use as they are to master. Jones Road is a lifetime of beauty knowledge distilled. All right, okay. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to go. Final thoughts on this particular collection of Jones Road Beauty that I tried this time. First and foremost, the What the Foundation. I think it's awesome, but I hope that I conveyed, I think I talked in circles, honestly, when I was applying it. I hope I conveyed how strangely different it is from other things. It definitely stays skincare-y feeling, but like also in a really, really nice way. Like it kind of feels like that Glossier after balm, you know, it feels like an occlusive moisture cocoon kind of finishing touch that's going to keep the moisture in your skin all day. It could be phenomenal for winter. But it also has this really bouncy feel to it, and my skin is happier for it. My skin is more moisturized and hydrated. My pimples and stuff like that look diminished after I've worn it for a day, and I really, really think that it hits the marks on the claims, and it is different, and it's different for reasons, like several reasons. But I just really want to get across the differences between it and normal makeup, because you are going to, or not normal makeup, but like makeup that behaves like makeup, because you are either the customer for this or you're not. I don't think that anyone would mistake this for Chantecaille. No one would put this on and mistake it for Laura Mercier. It's just different. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, I love it. I think it's really, really nice. And you guys, anybody who watched my last review on Jones Road, your jaw is probably on the floor. You're like, you loved something from Jones Road, because I was so underwhelmed before. And this has really, really shifted my view and my optimism for the brand. I also really like the little, where did she go? The little $25 pencil. I like that it comes in as many shades as it does. That's the one kind of shortfall here, is I do feel like, regardless of flexibility and, you know, low pigment and whatever, we still need more shades, Bobbi. So anyway, this has quite a lot of shades. I think it's really awesome, honestly. It's kind of something that I would reach for more than a like liquid concealer in a lot of cases, especially with something as emollient as this foundation, because it has a lot more staying power. It feels a lot more stuck on in a good way, but it's not breaking up either. And I actually did get it to tolerate that Kosas powder, but that Kosas powder is it's a little miracle in a pan, okay? I don't necessarily want to hand all the credit to the Jones Road in that case, because that Kosas powder it's really, really special stuff. Either way, this is really lovely, and it's something that I'm going to continue to reach for, not just because of the formula, but also just the ease of use and the shade. The shade is really, really nice for a nice natural looking brightened look underneath my eyes that doesn't really look like makeup, which I think is what they set out to accomplish. So, winner. The cheek stick, you know, guys, as a blush lover, I have reviewed probably hundreds of cheek sticks at this point, and this one is just fine. I think it's very pretty. I don't know if it's got skincare benefits. Let me see if it does. Castor seed oil, natural humectant, restores the skin's moisture barrier, vitamin E, essential fatty acids. So no, it's not boasting any skincare claims or anything like that. So basically it's just a very straightforward, very pretty sheer, natural looking lip and cheek. It doesn't have a lot of technology to it. Most of these don't, you know, but it's nothing like the Milk sticks, for example, that are quite matte and very, very highly pigmented, so you don't have to put very much on. This is an extension of the vibe of the foundation, where you do just kind of like put as much on as you are planning on wearing. It's not like a dab it on and then blend and blend and blend and blend thing where it's like really concentrated. It's more like just painting it on with the stick because it's that sheer. So I felt like I needed to put some powder, you know, a powder blush right on top to just take the shine down a little bit. That's not a huge sacrifice for me, and I love how natural it looks. I do. I think it's really pretty. Do I think it's incredibly special? Not really, but if you are going the Jones Road route, it is the way to achieve the Jones Road aesthetic. I do think that it has that really beautiful, like lived in natural skin kind of look. And the colors are pretty. The colors are really, really pretty. Let's talk about the misses real quick. I don't really want to go too hard on them here because I just don't feel like I'm the customer for these necessarily. Is this a really pretty eyeshadow? It is. I don't feel like it really goes with the Jones Road vibe though. The fact that it is such a highly saturated, honestly, very, very pretty, beautifully behaving, sophisticated professional kind of formula. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Chantecaille Mermaid eyeshadows. Like it's that pretty. Like it has just such a gorgeous finish to it and a really, really beautiful blend, but it just kind of acts like it wants to be worn like a regular eyeshadow, not like this smudgy rock star kind of vibe, which is why I will probably reach for it more in the future, is because I don't typically go for smudgy eye looks. I like a little more precision than that. I feel like smudgy just looks messy on me in a lot of cases. And if that's not the case for you, and you do like something that's really like lived in looking on the eyes, the Just a Sec eyeshadow is going to give you a much more Jones Road aesthetic kind of eye look, you know, that just like smeared on, is it there, is it not, wash of color kind of thing. And in that case, I would recommend picking something that's closer to your skin tone than I did, because the pigment isn't present enough to really hold its own in an eye look. But it's present enough that you'll notice it if you get it in the wrong place, if it's the wrong color, you know? And so I think this is what made me look messy, is because it's got the shimmer and it's got the pigment, but it doesn't really have enough of either one to hold its own as a brown on pale skin, or a bronze, you know, which is what I was trying to do with it. All that to say, she does claim that it's crease proof. It looks pretty crease proof to me, you know, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I just don't think that I'm the customer for this, that's all. That's nobody's fault. So overarching takeaways, I like this new breath of fresh air that's coming out of Jones Road as this iteration. I want to try that little like shimmer eye thing, you know, the liquid. That looks really, really neat. But I do think that claims versus outcome, it's very easy to achieve the Jones Road look with the Jones Road products. She does manage to make products that are so, not even foolproof, they're just flexible. They have very, very large margins of when you can fix them and when you can adjust them and stuff like that. It's kind of grown-up Glossier. That's what I would say. And that's a high compliment. You just kind of have to know what you're getting. Like you have to understand that you're gonna be getting some like innovative formulas that are meant to do a certain thing and that might kind of be opposite from your expectation of the rest of your makeup, but that's sort of the point. Is because if you're gonna buy something new, you want it to be different, right? So yeah, I do wanna emphasize, I hated the RMS foundation because it was so like greasy and heavy. Is there such a thing as greasy in a good way? It's like slugging in makeup. Slugging, by the way, is like coating yourself in a very occlusive moisturizer as your last step of your skincare so that while you're sleeping, everything just really locks in and your pillow doesn't like soak up as much of your skincare. That's how this foundation feels to me. And I like it. Like it feels like a hug on my face in a way that no makeup usually does, but it's definitely a preference thing and I could see some people totally hating that. So anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions about this, definitely ask them down below because I feel like this is just kind of a whole different approach and I probably didn't do like the best job of explaining it or showing it to you. So if you have questions, I will really try to help in the comments, even more so than usual. I really appreciate you guys watching though. If you did enjoy this, found it helpful, anything like that, do give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you guys so much and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.